Sorry. Yes, so for the certain grant application for the state. The mileage certification cost.
Mhm.
I'm also putting this together on the. Submittals on this. There's several of them. After the DNR and the water system as well.
Mhm. As far as intention that treatment plant, the Strand is on the same page and they're following that trail also.
Yes, yeah. So we did have a, like, we did have a kickoff in the Strand and like. Wow, that's. We did the design in the next phase.
Okay.
That's all. There is something, some of these things, the deadlines and dates, and stuff like that, so we can share with Mike too, so at least kind of aware. It's not lost anywhere. This year, really see it's one of the kind of things we're playing things. Well, yes, that's absolutely. I'll make sure that the guys can have this and this side of confidence. Right, both bringing the one person and the students to let them know that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think when I talked to that, we have to initiate some kind of process for Giant O'Neill to officially or purchase or whatever, to do something to officially claim that parcel C that they want before we sell it out from under them. If we initiate that process and have that in progress, then when our real estate guy gets it and papers works and stuff, he does that at a lower percentage than if he starts that process himself, correct?
I believe that parcel is listed on our. With our.
Right, right. So whatever we need to do prior to having the real estate guy formalize it, we need to do that, get that ready.
We would put it, all we have to do is say, is a person who pursuing this. Parcel. So they allow it's.
Mhm.
It's an excluded buyer base.
Yeah, so then we're covered with that. Yeah.
That's whenever we have. Here.
Okay.
And I did ask our role to reach out back, and just say. Like, let's start to out there, on. Let us know.
Mhm.
So this one, I don't really need to. Do that.
All right.
Well, I would say that, we got to change some design expression, or get in, and of course, it's one of the things that will be more about moving forward, but, I've been very appreciative of all the work that's put in, I've learned a lot. I was happy with the first year, and I was on share public works. A little daunting, but I was happy with the guidance that you gave me, so, I personally just think the best moving forward, and I guess with that, I'm most of this, your resignation. Which you all future. Thank you for your service here. Our job's a lot easier. So thank you.
But I want to get more. Also.
Mhm.
Go forward.
Yeah, it always has. And we've enjoyed it too. Okay, do I have a second on that? Hold on. Okay, seconded by John. Any other congratulations or thank yous? Want to be forfeited or put out before we do the vote?
Can you repeat that, please? It's hard to hear.
John seconded. Yeah, John.
We're just asking if there's any other comments we wanted to make to Roger regarding thanks and all that stuff before we accept his resignation.
I would say thanks, Roger. I gave him a little gift yesterday. he's gonna be heavy in a few months.
All right, then I will call the vote. I will start with Bill
Aye.
and Dan.
Aye.
Aye,
And Bruce?
and Bruce.
Aye.
Okay, the motion is carried unanimously. Any questions of Roger? Anything you have for us, here? Yeah.
Oh, one other thing, water towers in Washington.
Tomorrow? So stay off the street, right? That's gonna be flying all over. All right,
Would you recommend Pinnacle as the engineer for the industrial park? Be the civil engineer or go with Strand or do any recommendations?
The general civil engineer.
Yeah. Or Kapoor?
Yeah, I guess I would always have mentioned, but I don't know what Strand does for the role, or I know they do. Pinnacle, but very good, but they do a lot of industrial part of the work, I think that's kind of the mother of the, very nicely. So I don't think we're locally, there's the previous services, there's the smaller ones.
I'm thinking about Hillcrest. Some engineer to review that.
Yeah, I would that,
Miller would be able to handle that too.
You could ask, I think O'Donoghue once mentioned it.
Yeah.
Sort of more installations inspection.
Right.
Yeah, obviously, yeah. You could run people over the smaller one.
Okay, just the generic guys. Okay.
Yeah, we've worked with all of those actually, here in and out. All right, anything else? I will move to clerk treasurer.
Last meeting, I reported that I have heard from Anthem that, our insurance plan was no longer available and that their rates went up 15%. I went on the ETF website today and I got the rates for the state for next year and their rates went up 6.12%.
So now they're lower than,
So now they're lower for a better plan. So that was good news that they didn't go up too horribly drastic. That's all I got.
all right, any questions of clerk? We'll move on, District 2 Supervisor report.
A little letter. Passed out, you can read it when you get a chance, but basically it's just a synopsis of that the county now owns Cedar Gorge Clay Bluff, which if you're not familiar with that, it's 130-acre piece just south of Fort Washington. And $2.3 million was used from the ARPA funds that the state got in order to get that purchase over the top. And the other thing I didn't go into in here is that the county actually gave, in order to get this or help get this, gave $200,000 towards this that now we can't get back from the Ozaki or the Washington Land Trust. So there's a lot of issues I brought up with that and a lot of concerns here. If this is more of a blessing or a curse. I've submitted it to a few different papers, publications. I submitted it earlier this week to the Zach Press. I never got a response back. I mean, I know it's fairly lengthy, but read if you get a chance. Any questions you got, let me know. So yeah, other than that, see Lance is here, town chairman. So thanks for being here. Yeah, that's all I've got. So if anyone wants to, any questions from me on anything? Happy to answer.
So the land trust is gonna keep the change, basically?
Oh, we're gonna do- Yeah, they're gonna keep it down.
That's par for that course. All right, any questions? All right, we'll go to reports. The Public Safety Committee for Bruce.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, okay, cool. We met on Monday. Brian Weicker, Chief Weicker, gave a great introduction as far as the amphibious vehicle that we wanted to try to get to finance for the ARPA, use of ARPA funds for that. It can be used by police or the fire department as a responder and things like that. And but it was unanimous that we would send that to finance, and hopefully they'll take it from there. Otherwise, that's about all I have.
Okay, any questions of Bruce? Thank you, Bruce. We'll move to Personnel Committee report from Bill.
Personnel met yesterday to discuss Roger's resignation, as well as possible solutions to how we may fill the very large shoes that are going to be opening. We talked about some possible collaboration with the town of Fredonia. I'm not sure who's all in the audience tonight, if anybody would like to speak on that.
Lance is here right now.
You want to give him a mic?
I'm gonna say, I think the batteries are dead.
Well, I'm pretty well.
You can come and sit up here. That's it.
Yeah, we can step in the chair.
The point is, we're willing to be hired a clerk. But he's, fairly highly skilled clerk in budgets, grants, and, treasurer. He went to all the schools, and he's, clerk for,
Elmwood Park.
Elmwood Park.
In Steve County. He's also, he's the mayor of West Bend too. Which is just a bigger job. So, the point is, he'd like to administrate and our clerk and our treasurer, or deputy clerk and treasurer. And he's willing to help out the village also in the same capacities, training people and doing budgets. So I guess it's up to you. The town's willing to share. We just feel if you got someone highly qualified, to come up with a salary to match them. Because the town's a part-time job. And I think both of us could offer a full-time job to him. So, and I guess from there, it's your guys' decision on it, but we're willing to work with you because for us, it would be try to retain them longer. Because I think otherwise it's just gonna be a stepping stone for them. And I think you have similar needs to us, maybe even more. I don't know your situations, but I don't see your office too full of people, so I think you have some problems. So.
Well, I think this is a great solution and a great collaboration between village and town. I think it's great to use the same resources, assets to kind of keep someone here that's highly qualified. That's gonna work. I commend this idea, and I think this is a great step forward for kind of what we're looking for and where we're going in the future, and it helps the town out, it helps the village out. I think this is a great idea.
Yeah, and I just think he has the skill set to train treasurers and clerks. Or deputy clerks, so we could start to generate, some skill, get people trained in our offices. Flipping clerks for the town has been a problem. You don't get nothing done when they're only there a year and a half. And obviously elections and that have made the clerk job a lot more demanding than it used to be. Even on the town level, I know we don't have all the services you do, but
but we still have a lot of paperwork.
Right.
So,
Yeah, you get a lot of people that come in, come out, so this would be a great way to kind of keep someone here long term.
that's what I figured, so I brought it up and. So from there, we're willing to work with you guys on this, if that's what you want, so it's up to you from there.
Yeah, I had a call this afternoon from one of the members of the Newburgh Village Board, and 3-4 years ago, they were having all kinds of trouble with maintaining people and whatever. And he said that this individual came in and he would highly recommend that he would be able to do the same as far as help us reconstruct our administration capability. So he comes highly recommended from that perspective.
He helped Newburgh do the same thing.
Mhm.
So I'm not exactly sure we're agendized to take action on anything tonight with this, but if there's an understanding with the board, I would like to either move forward with a collaborative meeting with the town as a board level, or move forward from a committee standpoint with the town to start looking at what this would look like and how this role would play out.
I would agree with Bill also. There's other things that we're gonna have to be going through too, and to get everybody's ideas together and find out what the end game is gonna be. Rather than jumping in.
Quick question, just because I'm all about trying to streamline things, I want to get your thoughts on this, Lance, but I mean, is this constituted maybe like an FGC meeting? Or should this go through personnel and then get recommended?
I think it should culminate in an FGC meeting.
I think so too.
We can committee this a little bit, maybe once, and then do a talk over back and forth and whatever, and then officially. It could be done at a village meeting or a town meeting,
Right.
or an FGC meeting, depending on what we want to do, so.
Well, the FG is kind of the maintenance and everything.
That's great.
That's true, right?
Right.
Yeah, I think we should just get board members to
Mhm.
specialize on this.
That would just add a committee and more time, and that would be unnecessary, so.
And he'll probably show up tonight, yeah. He was gonna come,
Mhm.
so you could meet him.
Well, we will invite you into the closed session,
Oh, you're going in closed session?
when we get to it, yes.
Oh, okay.
Okay, anything else on this? Bill, you've got everything?
I think that pretty much covered most of what we discussed yesterday.
Okay. All right, we will go to items for discussion, action items. The first item, I believe this is one that John requested.
Right. This is just a follow-up on the group home when we had the lawyer here. I emailed him and he's under the impression, and our minutes show that we were going to send to the state representatives wondering why the village is not notified when these group homes come into the community and get them to push on it. And I was also thinking, just our whole budget system is, we don't get the funds we should probably be getting back from the state. We should probably invite Louis Strobel and Robert Brooks to a village board meeting and talk to them about this. It's just my thought. What do you guys think? I agree with you, John. Yep.
You mean as far as shared revenue?
Shared revenue.
grant
and also,
availability.
why don't we have, why are we notified by the state when they license the home? At least there could be other things you guys know about and come up with, but we should get a punch list together and talk to them face to face.
We're basically unfunded mandates. Because they say, well, you can do this, and they don't tell us, and we have to deal with it.
Right.
And it costs money when you deal with anything, so.
I agree, but we still should draft the letter. I mean, that's what we promised we were gonna do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think absolutely, that needs to get done sooner than later, probably. How do we wanna go about doing it then, I guess is the question.
Could I chime in or not?
Go ahead.
I think in our ordinances, as these are businesses, we could rewrite the ordinance for that particular, even for residential, if you're gonna run a business out of your residential home, then it would be automatic. They would have to come in front of you. You know, right now, it's
Mhm.
kind of hard to
I'm not
figure
sure
out.
we can do that.
That's not what we're talking about. No, I'm talking about Bruce is trying to talk about. That's not what the attorney said.
Yeah, attorney says that we can't do that. You can't
Right,
zone them
can't.
out.
Right, and then we gotta get back to kind of about this letter, who's gonna write it?
Yeah.
Get it out by it.
If there's gonna be a fix, it's gonna have to be a state statute fix
Yes, that's what he said.
or an administrative code fix or something. There's nothing we can do locally.
Well,
But we should get busy lobbying the state to
Yeah.
do what they can do. So who wants to write that letter?
I can draft a letter, have it on the board meeting, go over, it, and then it'll come from the whole village board.
Okay, then we can all sign it with the signature.
Okay.
But I like that idea, John, and that in there too, about I get enough funding in there. I think that's a great idea.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
All right, so then,
Thanks,
we
John, for doing that.
don't need a formal action on that right now. We'll just, send it back to those who are going to.
Also, real briefly on that, I want to commend John and thank him for taking the time to actually go around when the attorney sent that letter out and going door to door.
Mhm.
And that meant a lot. I mean, that's what local government's all about and shows that we care and that we're taking people seriously. So thank you, John, for taking a lead on that and doing that. Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, the boy.
Alrighty, so we'll move on. Motion to approve, the recipient agreement with Ozaki for the EMS grants.
I sent this to the attorney for review to make sure everything was good before we signed it. I have not heard anything back from them. So if you do approve it, I think it should be contingent on attorney's review approval.
I sent it, no, I didn't get anything, but I sent an email to Bob Fine and Carolyn and Jonathan Woodward, who wouldn't have anything to do with this. Last night, didn't hear any response
I sent it to him.
about this.
I sent it to him when I received it from Chief Weicker, just to make sure everything, it's a 15-page document, all legal, just to make sure everything is kosher. And we haven't heard anything back, but I think you should go ahead and approve it because it needs to get approved contingent on his. Okay,
And how are we gonna find out if it's okay?
well, he'll get back to us eventually.
Okay.
You can approve it contingent on his,
Contingent on attorney.
an attorney review.
review.
Mhm.
How does it have to get submitted?
Not,
No. Okay.
I'll make that motion. I'll second that.
Is there a deadline on, I mean, is there a deadline to approve this?
I'm looking. I don't think so. Well, there's gotta be.
I seem to remember
October.
something like that.
I feel like Chief did say sometime in October, but I don't want to,
Yeah.
I'm
I don't
not
wanna put you.
positive.
There's two of them. One was October and one was November. I think this is the earlier one.
But I mean, but I don't know when our next,
Next board meeting is October
I
6th.
know, but if it like happens to be October 1st, you know,
No, it's October 6th or 7th.
I don't know. That this has to. be
Oh, that
approved
day.
by. I wish Brian was here because he would know right off the top of his head.
You know, attorneys a lot of times will not enjoy being the last one to say yes on something. Because it's basically what they're occurring at. Well, they can avoid that situation by doing their job on a timely basis.
Yeah, right. I agree.
Well, we have my answer about how showing him us and maybe future or the department.
I think it's inevitable. It's just how many years is it gonna take? I think. We all agree, you know, we got a lot of trucks and they can't staff hardly any of them for all three departments, you know,
Mhm.
and, you know, but I wouldn't, like, they're banking on sales tax from the county for this EMS. And I think Josh, the county ain't gonna do that. I think they ought to be focusing on doing like the school district, creating their own tax authority. Because we're gonna be touching some of the town of Saukville. And we got random on 3 sections in the town of Fredonia. And I think you wanna cover anyone who's in your town or village. Or in the area you're covering. You cover some Saukville too, I believe.
Yeah,
And so does Wabica. So I think you're gonna have, I think that's the only solution, because how are you gonna, you know, it's gonna have to go on the tax base. When you got all those different entities, how can you be fair otherwise?
yeah, none of the borders coincide with what we're trying to do.
Right,
And it happens so often.
but that way you could pick out them 4 sections from Saukville or whatever. And you know, the 3 from random that we farm out and, you know, and I'm sure there's some from the town of Port maybe in there too. I'm not positive, but they could be from Belgium. So,
Yeah, well, we can do demographics real easily now, with computers and all that. And whether they want to do an increment in an area or
yeah,
cap in an area, per cap in an area.
but I fully believe they're,
Distribute the bill that way.
yep, I fully believe they're dreaming. And I think Josh thinks that too. I think they gotta get on the gear and go. They got a couple years to do it, but I never did anything like that. I don't know what it takes in the long run.
It's a real uphill battle. We got Mequon, you know, accounts for 40%.
Right, well, they're gonna outvote, if they think,
Right.
they think you're getting $1 more than them, they ain't gonna. And just look at the revenue for the county, then you can say, we didn't raise taxes, well, yeah, you did, but it's income, I mean, it's on sales tax.
Right.
I mean, if they're pulling 12 mil now, I believe is the figure, and we got a 30% inflation in the next 2 years, that's a chunk of change. When then they can say, well, we didn't raise taxes. Oh, well, no, you collected taxes though. I mean, don't say you didn't raise them.
Well, the beauty of that is, all the transient people, all the visitors, out of
Yeah.
state people coming and buying
Well,
stuff, whatever.
It's all about,
They're helping to pay our taxes.
and correct, and it's all about pushing it down. It's just like the IT person going away.
Mhm.
They push it down in the towns and villages. They, you know, and that's basically what they're doing, you know. So that's my viewpoint on it, I guess.
Yeah, everybody in the township that orders on Amazon has to pay sales tax on stuff now too, so.
Right,
Their townships are developing part of that $12.5 million they're gonna be
Yeah.
collecting, so.
so I think it's a
It's just
great,
not right that the county be.
it's a great idea, but I don't believe it's gonna pass. so-
Not this, it won't be until next year, if it does.
Well, it's
It's
2
gonna
years
take a while.
before this is up, but they better be working on Plan B.
We gotta,
So we gotta.
okay, so we got a vote on the table.
So, yeah, we have a motion on the table.
In a second.
Who was, you have the.
We have Josh
Josh,
motioning, Dan seconding approval of the. agreement
Okay.
contingent
Contingent on-
review.
all right, so with no other questions, I will call that vote. All in favor?
Roll call.
Dan.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Bruce,
Aye.
Bill.
Aye.
Okay, motion carried unanimously. Next we have, motion to appoint myself and Josh as 2 members of the committee and Rick Everglades as a alternate for the joint EMS working group. Is
I'll make
that everyone? That's set up.
Go ahead, Bill.
I'll make a motion for that appointment, for those appointments.
Bill, you want to second that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, seconded by Bill. Any questions? All right, all those in favor? I'll start with, Josh. Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Bruce,
Aye.
Bill,
Aye.
Dan.
Aye.
Okay, motion carried unanimously. All right, improve the energy's installation of natural gas on Tower Drive and Innovation Drive. That's-
We approved, resolution for electric to go in and gas.
Oh, okay.
Why didn't they put the gas in at the same time? I mean, they were up there and they're digging a trench and they're putting stuff in, right?
So right now, they haven't put in the net.
Oh, they haven't put the electric in yet. Okay,
We need gas, so I'll make a motion to approve We Energies to install natural gas or drive. At that cost, 83-12-42.
is there any winter charge in there or is that, there shouldn't be?
No, that's not winter charge, and we should, as development occurs in the business park, we should get refunded some of this money.
Yeah.
I don't know how that process works, so when that happens, but don't forget about that.
The faster they build it, the more and sooner we'll get it back.
Yeah.
I'll second that.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Any questions on this? All those in favor, I'll start. Aye. Bruce,
Aye.
Bill,
Aye.
Dan?
Aye.
Scott? Motion carried unanimously. Next we have motion to purchase and install an analyzer for orthophosphate.
So what this is, this is a permit requirement that we have from the DNR. We budgeted in 2022, 35,000, and we have it in for next year's budget to put the remaining half in. But we have an opportunity, I guess, to buy the equipment now. It's a 10 or 12 week lead time, so that way we'll have it, and then we do install after the first year when that money's available.
We carry forward the balance of 35 so that we can pay for the install.
Correct.
Sure. That's remembered in finance.
Yeah, it's currently in our water or wastewater budget, which
Mhm.
which we have with a 0% increase, so I'm
The
anticipating.
35
it'll be
we
a-
recognize, but
Yep.
this from 35 is gonna be another figure that we might not recognize what that is, so.
Yep.
And that should be carried forward so that we can install this stuff.
Make a motion to purchase and install process analyzer. To not to exceed $1,635.61. Second that.
Just to back up, this is just purchase of materials. It won't include install.
Correct.
Yep.
Maybe the material, can I say that? No. No. Just purchase materials.
Yeah, I'll still second.
So you're gonna include in the motion to, remainder of budget to be carried over into the 2023.
I don't think that's necessary.
Okay, well, as long as we're finding it. All right. Okay, do you have the motion? All right, any other questions on that?
Do you want to approve the maintenance for that?
That's a different, that's not the maintenance thing for the analyzer, is it?
It is, it's recommended, spare parts or parts that'll wear. So
Oh,
you can buy it now, we can choose to buy it 6 months from now.
You wanna add that to the motion?
Or
Well,
I
this
think
one
it says
is-
a second item, we
Yeah,
can make it a
that's the
second
final way to
motion.
go. We'll do this, and then we'll do that next.
Yeah.
I will call a vote, and I'll start with John.
Aye.
And Bruce,
Aye.
and Bill,
Aye.
and Dan.
I'm confused. Hold on, give me a second.
Just your motion for the.
My motion?
Yeah, just the one. that I
Aye.
said.
Yeah, just for you. This is just for you. Okay, and Josh,
Yes.
and I, okay, motion carried. Now we will do F, purchase of kits.
All right, so now we're talking about the maintenance kit, right?
Do we have to buy this now? You just said we didn't have to pay this.
Right, they basically, they gave us the price, so we knew what it was, that's gonna be, that's essentially, that's gonna be our operating cost for this piece of equipment. No, like, it could go 18 months before we need to replace it, but, you know. So, there shouldn't be any harm in it sitting on the shelf. There won't be any harm in buying it down the road other than
It'll be more-
if it's not available or costs more, but.
For lead time, I suppose.
Yeah, this should fit in total 35,000 that we had.
So the other part of it, the labor for the install, that's something that we still need to budget for next year then, or? It is in the preliminary budget?
If you don't have the parts and the new equipment goes down, you have spare parts on the shelf. You got them. If they're out 6 weeks for the parts, now you got a $28,000 piece of paperweight.
Yeah, I'm just a little bit concerned about lead times right now, so that would be why I would be more in favor of it.
I mean, so what this equipment is gonna do is help us use our ferrochloride more judiciously. If
I'm gonna say, I think we need new batteries.
I'll make a motion to purchase the maintenance kit. It costs $5,614.90.
I will second that motion.
All right, any other questions on that? Okay, I will call a vote and we're back to starting with Bruce
Aye.
and Bill
Aye.
and Dan.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried unanimously. No, resolution to be included in Wisconsin Public Employer Group Health Insurance Program.
So if you recall, the last village board meeting, we had the resolution to be included in the WRS.
Yeah.
There's a resolution also to be included in the ETF or the actual insurance portion of it that we did not include last time, and this is what that resolution is.
No, that was not included in there. We just did the one.
Right. I didn't realize there was a second one that needed to be done.
I'll make a motion to approve the resolution for inclusion in the Wisconsin Public Employers Group Health Insurance Program.
Okay, I have a motion.
I would second that.
John beat you to it. Okay, I have a motion and a second. All those in favor, starting with Bill.
Aye.
Dan?
Aye.
Aye. Bruce?
Aye.
Okay, motion carried. Next, we have motion to appoint Dan as point of contact regarding the industrial park show, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, so I think that just with Roger having been the point person thus far, I just think that it's important for us to have somebody, some of these moving parts that he was talking about get dropped in the interim.
Being that Dan has the background for real estate, I'd make that motion.
I'll second that.
All right. Okay, we will, if there's no question.
Just
Sure.
hours you're gonna spend on this.
Mhm.
I think there could be possibly compensation.
That's, we can't do, we can't adjust the elected person's wage
Okay.
or compensation or.
Yeah, so my thought on this is I'll field the day-to-day phone calls that come in about interest and things like that, and I'll just report back to the board. It's not, it's fine. That should be fine.
It shouldn't be that involved.
If it gets too overwhelming, I'll let everybody, how's that
Yeah.
sound? No, you're not gonna care. No.
I'd like to extend my,
I don't know, maybe we'll have an administrator to handle that shortly. You never know.
What were you gonna say, Bill?
Yeah,
You were gonna say something? Bill?
yeah, I was just gonna offer compensation of my sincere gratitude for you taking on that role. So thank you.
That's more than enough. I appreciate that, Bill.
thank you. Okay, anything else on that matter? I will call that vote. And we are up to, are we up to Dan again?
No, that's a good question. Yeah, there's Dennis, I think so.
No, we're up to Dan again.
It does affect you.
It
so
does
Maybe you
affect me.
should abstain.
I will be
Yeah,
abstaining.
you can abstain.
I'll abstain from this.
Okay,
Right. Abstain.
I'll vote aye. Bruce
Aye.
and Bill.
Then technically,
Aye.
Okay, motion carried with one abstention.
that won't-
All right, correspondence. We have a mid-range dinner on the 28th. The interesting part of it is, an attorney from Boardman is gonna be discussing the, interactions from utilities in our right of ways, which has been a sore spot.
And I have to let them know by the 26th, so if you're interested in going, please shoot me an email and I'll get you signed up.
All right. Yeah, I will go to
We're
that.
gonna do it that way. I'm sure you'll know.
Okay, so we are in order to convene in the closed session if the board so chooses.
I'll make a motion to convene in closed session.
Who,
Pardon?
Josh, you made?
It is for personnel matters.
I can't hear anything here.
Mhm. So, I would, appreciate a motion as per the agenda listing. Mhm.
I have a motion. I didn't hear a second.
We didn't hear a second.
Who had, somebody want to second the motion to go into close?
Okay, I have a motion and a second to go into closed session. And we will do a roll call vote, starting with Josh. Aye. Bruce,
Aye.
Bill,
Aye.
and Dan.
Aye.
Okay, motion carried unanimously. We are in closed session. It's in the minutes.
I did put it down.
What? I can say.
Yes, I would like to invite, you to stay.
Good night.
Thanks.